Hi, everybody. How you doing? I am Johan. That over there is Mr. Charleston Hughes.
Man, I look good on camera.
you just said that you shouldn't be wearing that sweater anymore. It's all raggedy and all that stuff. Today's guest, Saskatchewan Roughrider quarterback, Mr. Cody Fajardo. Cody, how are you doing? Man, thanks for coming on. Last second we call you. Chuck calls you up and says, hey, can you come on in 5 minutes?
Man, he show up every time exactly when I need him. I'm walking on the sideline with him, and I say, Cody, we need you right here. You got to score. You got to take over. And then, boom, he goes out and does his thing. So that's all I appreciate is he show up at the right time.
Man, I appreciate that. It just shows how much power Chuck's got in this community here, man.
Yeah.
In that locker room, he's got a lot of power. So
yeah.
I owed Chuck this. I told him I wanted to get on, and I'm glad it kind of worked out. And I wasn't doing much, but watching that Manti Te'o documentary, so it was a good time to hop on.
That's awesome. I guess both of us will chip in for all the corn dogs you can eat next year at the exhibition, and be able to do that for you.
I forgot about that.
I missed out this year with the bye week. Yeah, I missed out, man. So baby shower is a little bit more important than putting some ketchup on some corn dogs. So
nice. Well, we'll meet up soon, and we'll be able to get all the corn dogs you can get and do that. What's happened? You got a baby shower back in Nevada, or where'd you
go? We did in bye week. Yep, and so the baby, we're having a boy, and he's due September 12th. So we just started the 9th month here on Monday. So we're in the 4th quarter. It's getting close.
Oh, wow. You got any names picked out yet?
We do, yeah. Luca Charles Fajardo will be the name. So Luca will be his first name, Charles will be the middle name, and then Fajardo will be the last
name.
Yeah.
He's got a lot more influence, apparently.
See the power? See the power he's got? Yeah.
The power of Chuck.
Yeah. See how that works out? That's a good name, Charles.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congrats on it. And this is your first?
Thanks. First, yep. This will be our first, yep.
Ask Chuck about how fatherhood's going for him and his first boy right now.
Yeah, boys are tough, man. Boys are hard, man. Once he gets the terrible twos right now are like insane. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, good luck to
I heard
you.
It's like looking in the mirror, and I'm stubborn, so I hope he doesn't get my stubbornness. It's going to be tough.
You got your hands full.
Cody, I got two boys. My boys are 19 and 16. I'm actually taking them to New York tomorrow, and we're going on a boys trip. But, in the beginning, it's awesome. They're babies. You're holding them. They get to run into your arms. They're so dependent on you. For me, I've found that when they're 16, they don't want their dad anymore. They don't want their mom.
Yeah,
they're with the girls. They're. Oh my God, it sucks. It really does.
Heartbreaking, huh? Heartbreaking.
It has been. I was a little bit pissed off.
You sound heartbroken.
I am. Now you get to be able to. I get to go and I get to bribe them on a trip to go to New York and have that bonding time now and be able to do that. But you'll be an awesome dad. I know that. And congrats to you guys.
That.
Let's talk a little bit of football. How's things going for you guys?
We got off the 3-game losing streak, so that's good. It was a much needed win, and this team, it seemed like on Saturday night, just kind of refused to lose, and we lost enough, I feel like, and got some energy back coming back from the bye week. It was kind of all doom and gloom when we left here. Came back, re-energized. I know that the practice during the week leading up to the Edmonton game was one of our best practices in terms of a full week to date. And we went out there in not easy conditions, especially offensively speaking. It was windy, crosswinds, very tough just to kind of move the ball. And guys just didn't waver, didn't get negative. We stayed positive and found a way to win on a team that was desperate. They were just as desperate as we were to win a football game. And so we hope that this momentum will carry on because BC back-to-back and then Winnipeg back-to-back. There's some room to jump in the standings, and we got to take full opportunity of it.
Hell yeah, man. It was a windy-ass game.
Yeah, that's what Chuck was saying yesterday.
It was terrible.
Was it that bad out there? Because we couldn't really...
That was by far the windiest game I ever played in.
I'm right there with you. Hamilton, I've had a few windy games, but nothing like this where it was... And offensively, we were going into the wind for 3 quarters. It switched on us, and we didn't make the right call at the halftime, picking the way of the wind. But to tell you the truth, we got a lot of flack as an offense for only throwing for 130 yards. But it was tough elements just to move the ball, and I was happy that we were able to score 4 touchdowns in that and find a way to win late. It builds character to this team. This team has done nothing but fought hard. We've next man up mentality. We've been as thin as we can be, and hopefully we get some reinforcements back, which it sounds like we're getting this week and the following coming weeks on offense. Get a couple reinforcements and get our swagger back because we need it.
Yeah, we definitely need to get our swagger back. How frustrating is that, though? Like, I know for kickers, it could be frustrating as hell playing and win like that. But no one really talks about how frustrating it could be for a quarterback because you got to throw the ball through that wind. And, some balls that you would think you threw on the money would either come up short or come up long. So it has to have, like, an extreme effect.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Quarterback is such a repetition position where I can throw the ball and when it leaves my hand, I know if it's a good ball or a bad ball. Mm-hmm. But when you get into windy games like that, you throw a ball and you're like, I can remember there was a post to Duke in the fourth quarter, and I threw it, and I'm like, I threw that one good. The wind kind of let it hang up, and the DB had a chance, put his hand on it, knocked it down, and no wind there. I think it's a big completion for a lot of yards. But that's one of those things where you're just kind of fighting the elements and just learning on the fly. Literally, is like you're on the sideline trying to throw and feel how much power you need to put on it. You don't want to overthrow, you don't want to underthrow, and if you can't spin it, the ball comes out wonky, and the wind's going to take it. So to your point right there, I mean, it's very difficult being a repetitive quarterback where you throw and you know what's good, you know what's bad. The wind can. I say it all the time. I'd rather play in snow, rain, any kinds of those elements. You give me some strong wind, it's difficult to throw the ball.
But that's the one thing I was telling Chuck yesterday is that, on TV, we were watching the game, and there wasn't any mention of the wind being that strong, other than the fact the game was delayed, right? But there was no mention from TSN on, the wind conditions out here are that bad, until I talked to Chuck yesterday. He said that was the worst you've ever played.
Yeah, it was a garbage bag flying across the...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. All the trash on the field should have been a red flag for everybody.
We were having too many beers, or we just didn't pick up on it, and to be able to say, okay, it's windy out there, until you said that yesterday. I was like, man, okay. And so it makes sense. Yeah.
And then what made me more laugh, because I was eavesdropping on the conversation that you and Mason was having on the bus, and he was saying that as a quarterback, he said he doesn't look at the receiver when he throws the ball. He says he watches the ball leave his hand the whole time, and he watches the ball in flight, and he don't look at the target. He's a
young buck. He's going to learn. He's got to learn fast. He better look at the target.
Hey, I was dying laughing sitting behind you. I'm like, that don't sound right. Like, he's trying to compare it to golf. Like, it's like golf. When you swing your club at the golf ball, you don't look at the target. No, you look at the ball in flight as it's leaving the club. I'm like, that ain't a good way to golf either. So.
Yeah. We were talking about Jordan Spieth when he putts. He doesn't look at the ball when he putts. He looks at the hole. And so we were talking about that. And then he was talking about throwing the football and not looking at the receiver. I'm like, you are drunk right now. I don't know how you could get that done. But, when you're a carnival, I call them carnival quarterbacks. So, like, sometimes in practice, we'll try and aim at targets. And sometimes when you're throwing like buckets, you're staring at the bucket, and you'll take a peek at the ball once and now, but you won't just stare down the ball. I didn't have the heart to break his heart at the moment, but I think he'll learn the hard way when he gets out there and gets some live bullets going.
Well, he's going to learn after watching this segment about what to do to be able to do that. Cody, how's it been as a quarterback here in Saskatchewan? I know that when Chuck played with Calgary, I mean, you always you wanted to play here, right? I mean, you saw Saskatchewan as a place of a cool place and do that. How has it been for you? Now that you've been here, you've been through ups and downs, man. I know you love it, but you've had some good and you've had some bad. You're getting some slack. You've gotten high praise. What's it like, man?
Absolute roller coaster of emotions. Being the quarterback for the Roughriders, many highs, some lows, and everything in between. You got to stay level-headed. There's a lot of good Rider fans out there that truly back me and care about me more as not only just a football player, but as a person. And everyone knows the negative ones are the most vocal ones, and usually it's a smaller group. But, it's been tough. Last year I spoke out about the mental health of being a Rider quarterback. And even when you win a football game, you seem not to win it the right way or the right way that fans expect you to win. And that's tough. That's tough for anybody, not just me, but everybody in that locker room. And, you hear it all the time. A lot of guys try and tune it out, which is unfortunate because we have great fans here. And you want to share in the passion with the fans. But when all you're getting is negative comments, even when you're winning football games, it's truly tough. But there's nothing better. And the reason I wanted to sign here was there was nothing better than running out of the tunnel at Mosaic Stadium. My first game, I'll never forget it, just a sea of green and, going out and eating, dinner with my wife and having kids come up to you and say, I was pretending to be you in the backyard and, you're my favorite player. Like, I didn't get that other places in the CFL. And it truly makes you feel like a professional quarterback. And I'm thankful for my time here with the Riders. And, I don't know what my future holds, obviously being in a contract year, but, I felt like I've given everything I've had, and I'll continue to give everything I have to the passionate fans who have backed me from when I took those first starting snaps in week 2 in 2019. And, that's someone, I'm just a competitor. I want to win football games by any means necessary, whether it's throwing for 100 yards or throwing for 400 yards. As long as we win the game, I could care less what the stats mean because there's nothing better in professional football than a winning locker room, and Chuck knows that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's 100%. You couldn't have said it no better than me, buddy.
But it's funny, Cody. You
Stole the words right out of my mouth.
You talk about the mental health side, and so I'm a big baseball fan. Chuck knows that, and my team, the Yankees. What team do you cheer for?
All of
See
them.
my Angels right here. My Angels.
Geez, both you guys are worse. I don't know the Tigers or the Angels. I don't know who's in a
I
worse
know.
position.
We're going through it.
Yeah. But we talk about the mental health aspect, and one of the guys who just got traded from the Yankees to the Dodgers was Joey Gallo, and he talked about how depressing it was. He didn't even, when he was booed at Yankee Stadium, he didn't even want to go out in the street. He'd order his groceries in. He wouldn't even leave his apartment in Manhattan. And it's just such a, it sucks. I mean, I can't imagine being an athlete and kind of feeling trapped like that, right? Where you don't even want to go out and kind of face the fans. You're getting booed all the time. Like you said, Cody, sometimes it feels like you can't win even the right way. Like, how does that feel when you're an athlete, Chuck, when you're out there?
It's tough. I've definitely been in those situations where, we've coming off a bad game. I don't want to be seen out in public, but I will say this. Most of the people that encounter you face to face say positive things and are very positive thinking or a fan of yours. It's the people who hide behind computer screens are the ones that say the worst things. And, people tell me all the time, it's funny, everybody's got the great advice for me, stay off this, stay off that. And, if you're in my shoes, I would love to see how most people would play that, because here I am with this great platform and I want to reach out to as many kids, to as many people and inspire as many people. And for me to let the negative comments just completely give up, everyone tells me give up social media. I'm not using the platform that I'm a believer that God has given me to go out there and to change people's lives. And that's why I continue to stay on social media. Yeah, sometimes after losses, I won't pull it up, but I won't delete my social media because I feel like I can be a greater force or a light for many people going through worse times than just losing a football game. And sometimes it puts in perspective that there's more to life than just winning and losing a football game or playing bad. And sometimes you don't play good, but you're thankful for your health and for my family's health. And there's people going through a lot worse things than losing a football game and getting heckled by a few fans that aren't happy. And I'm okay with that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've got the bad end of the stick from fans a couple times, but my thing is I don't know, man. I don't sit back and take it. I don't like being bullied, man. I was bullied when I was a little kid, and I made a vow to myself that I'm not letting nobody bully me or tell me what I should be doing or, just direct me. So I go after the fans that try to.
So, Cody, do you follow Chuck online?
I do, yeah, I do.
Okay, So if you ever get into it, when I started following him online a few years ago, I really saw how Charleston will really go after people. Like, not only go after him and say a few rebuttals on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, he'll look this person up on LinkedIn. He'll try and find friends. He'll try and find information where he works. He'll try and find out like the whole background. He's
Smart
doing
man.
it. Yeah, he's doing an FBI search, and then he'll come back and say, "Oh yeah, how come your girlfriend broke up with you 3 years ago?" And in university, and it's like, Chuck, what? He's digging up stuff. So now I haven't seen too many people mess with you of late.
Yeah, man, they just leave me alone now. I'll hire a private investigator to go find out who is that person.
Yeah, set the tone. You set the tone. I like it.
I've gotten even like bad hate mail before from a hit that I put on Ricky Ray a long time ago, and I knocked him out for the season. And I think you were his backup at that time too, but I knocked him out for the season, the entire year. Then he came back and beat us in the Grey Cup, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah, 2017.
And in that season, it was fans that were sending me mail to my website telling me, if I see you in the streets of Toronto, I'm going to hit you with a sledgehammer. I'm going to run you over with my car when you're crossing the street. Like, they got vicious. And these Toronto fans. And I was like, holy crap, man. Like, this one hit, and I messed up. I tripped and fell into his legs.
Yeah. Dang, yeah, it's gnarly out there, man. I'm telling you, social media can be such a great platform, but also it has created a lot of problems, I think, with a lot that's going on in our world, just because everybody has a voice that's hidden behind the screen. If there's a way to verify everybody, I think that would make it the best case scenario. But people can make 30 profiles and just say whatever they want. So you got to tune it out, and you got to be mentally tough. But I like the fact that a lot of, like Gallows, a lot of athletes are speaking up about mental health, because for the longest time it was a stigma against the athlete. Oh, he can't handle it. He can't handle the pressure. He can't handle this. And so when you have other athletes stand up about the mental health and how much fans do affect the day-to-day happiness of a player, you think I want to go out there and throw 4 picks and lose a game? Absolutely not. I'm trying to provide for my family. It's like I'm trying to do the best I can. So you telling me I didn't do a good job, I'm probably the hardest on myself than anyone else is. So that's what really makes it difficult. But it's good to see athletes speaking up, and maybe I'll have to hire Chuck to get after some of the people that are commenting some negative stuff to me, man.
I'll get him off your back. Don't worry.
Call on Chuck, the hitman for social media, to be able to figure this stuff out. So that's awesome. I want to talk to it. Well, first let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll talk to a little bit more about Cody and Chuck about Toronto. I'm a huge Argo.
I want to know what's on your iPod. What's the last song you listened to?
Who, me?
Yeah, it's like.
I've been listening to 2022 house music. I'm not a house music guy, but when I drive into work, it's a playlist on Spotify. I don't know very many of the songs, but it's got this upbeat vibe. I'm a country guy. I like listening to country music, but I've been listening to some house music, and I've kind of got a little swagger going when I get into practice.
Oh, man. He's having dance parties in the car by himself.
Yeah.
Cowboy hat on, just you see him bobbing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. We should have, did you invite Cody and some of the quarterbacks out to watch that Regina Red Sox baseball game last week?
Oh, yeah, I did. They were busy watching film.
We were thanks. Yeah, we were out on the links. Aspen Links has been taking care of us, and so we've been doing a little match. It's been myself and Mason Fine versus Jake Dolagala, the other quarterback, and Brett Lowther, and we've been doing a 2-man scramble for about 9 holes, and then the back 9 we do like an alternate shot, and it's got pretty competitive. So it's a lot of fun.
The boys at Aspen Links always take care of the rudders, and I'm surprised you don't golf more, eh?
Yeah, man. The way my back's set up, I can't swing no club right now.
But you were swinging a baseball bat, and I heard you were hitting them out of the park.
Yeah, that was before the back.
No, he wasn't.
and I wasn't swinging properly, but I did hit a couple. I made contact, so that's all that matters.
It's funny, Cody. If you would have saw last year, we got the former MLB pitcher Dustin Mulliken from Regina. He went and pitched to Chuck and he was throwing heat, like probably about 94 cutters, sliders, and
I ain't never played
he hit
baseball
me
in
up.
my life.
He wanted me to get out there and swing, and I was like, I was a little nervous, but I talked to Chuck. I thought it would be pretty cool to get like a Riders versus Red Sox slow pitch softball charity game going. I think that would be a huge hit in the city, and just have some guys out, and I think it'd be a lot of fun.
yeah, no kidding. It's too bad that the Red Sox season's all finished up now, but that's something for next year. Because you look at a lot of those guys from the Regina Red Sox, they're all from like Arizona. We got guys from the Bronx. We got guys from all over.
Dominican.
Yeah.
They are from all over the place.
And young guys, they're going to school. The one kid, his dad's a major league hitter for the Cincinnati Reds, major league hitting coach for the Cincinnati Reds. But yeah, something like that, man, that'd be easy to be able to set up, and set that up and have a charity involved with that and get everybody out.
Yeah, like even if we got it right before training camp or found a way to do it, that would be, I mean, I know that or just have some sort of going against another, the Red Sox, and whether it's dodgeball or something, kickball or something like that, I think it would be a lot of fun, and fans would show up. I have no doubt about that, because our fans always show up. So
pack the park.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Cody Fajardo.
Cody.
Hi, my name is Rob Peterson. I'm the broker owner of Realty One in Regina. Real estate and life is about great people, and that's why I'm associated with Charleston Hughes and Johan Zielinski and IKS to sponsor the Better with Age podcast. Realty One was founded in Regina 11 years ago. It's an independent brokerage, it's local, and it's full of great people helping great local Regina people buy and sell properties. It's entrepreneurial based, which means you have non-narcissistic agents that have your best interest in mind, not their own. In these coronavirus times, real estate market right now in Regina and Saskatchewan is thriving because people are thinking more local. They're not thinking about traveling because we can't, and that's driving our market. When you hire a realtor, no matter who it is, no matter what company, please interview them. Please make sure they're a good personal fit for you, because that's what this is all about. It's good people connecting themselves with someone that they know has their best interest in mind. And that's what the Realty One family does. And that's what a lot of agents in Regina do. But make sure you take your time and find the best fit for you and your family.
It's that time of year when divisions are decided, champions are crowned, and legends are born. Now, it's your turn to win big. You've heard the name just about everywhere, MyBookie. They're the industry's leading online sportsbook and casino, and it's not hard to understand why. With thousands of lines to bet on all your favorite sports, NFL, NBA, and college ball. Check, check, and check. MMA and soccer, they've got all the latest odds, period. Take advantage of MyBookie's prop builder and live in-game betting, where every single run, throw, and touchdown is another chance for you to put cash in your pocket. Visit their mobile-friendly website today and get your deposit matched halfway up to $1,000. Just use the promo code when you make your first deposit. The best part is they make it simple, with a variety of ways to deposit instantly, including credit card, bank transfer, Bitcoin, and more. Whether you're at home or on the go, on your laptop or on your phone, it's not too late to make your New Year's resolution a resolution to get paid. Bet, win, and get paid at MyBookie.
All right. Those are great commercials. And we're back with Cody Fajardo and myself and Johan, the great. So about this Netflix movie that you were just watching, what is it, Matai? Manti Teo,
yeah.
So what happened? What happened to this dude, man? I don't like this whole catfish scene. We talk about all his mental health and how people get their heads screwed up by fans and just people that are predators, I guess you can say, to athletes. And it seemed like this guy was very vulnerable.
Very, and to see how well he played going through all this with all this going on, and basically the catfish happened, and he didn't know it. He just believed it. Every time he tried to reach out, she had an excuse as to why they couldn't hang out or they couldn't meet up, and so she ended up just killing off this fake person, and then he's playing his senior season with like a lot of sorrow and just going through a tough time. And it's honestly, I've only got through about 50 minutes of it, and there's 2 parts to it, so I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But yeah, you guys need to check it out. It's called the Girlfriend Who Didn't Exist, the Manti Te'o story on Netflix.
And do you remember that, Chuck?
I remember it happening, but I didn't think they were going to do a whole documentary scandal about the whole situation.
It was crazy, right? He's playing in Notre Dame. He's going to be a high draft pick in the NFL, and then all these rumors starting to happen about his girlfriend, or did she exist, made up, and
was he part of the hoax? Was he part of this? Was it all a media scheme to get more spotlight on him? There was some crazy things.
Didn't he, correct me if I'm wrong, Cody, but didn't he then, he got drafted and was in the NFL when it broke, or was it when he was in his last year?
I'm not sure. I haven't got that far yet, to tell you the truth.
I know he was in
Seattle. His senior year is when it broke. Yeah, I think his senior year is when it broke that she passed away, and I'm not sure how much longer after the actual passing did everyone find out. But the first 5 minutes of it was the media frenzy of when it came out that it was a hoax, and how many times the media was just dragging his name through the mud, and this guy was going through it, and it was nothing to do with him. He just poured his heart out to this girl, and people thought that he was making it up, just like narcissism and all about himself, and wanted the media spotlight, crazy stuff.
And that, can you imagine mentally how that could have just, destroyed him? That could have wrecked everything that he worked for, gone like that, and just with how social media would have been.
I'm just saying, how the hell do you get in a situation like that?
Honestly,
he fell in love, and obviously with this character, right? And then he wanted something that wasn't there, I guess, right? Maybe, I don't know.
And the problem was it was 2009, 2010, 2011, around that time, where there wasn't the real, social media hasn't become a big thing. It was like Facebook, right?
Yeah.
So there wasn't too much ways to verify people and to go through it. And Catfish wasn't even a thing. They were talking about nobody knew what Catfish was. Now everyone knows because that document or that show called The Catfish. But nobody knew what that was. He just kind of poured his heart out to this girl who was from his same culture, had the same religious background, and just got him and snatched his heart away.
Yeah, just killed my man from deep within. That's so wrong. What kind of people in this world do stuff like that? That's the crazy part. How do you even think and have enough time to even follow through and just keep going on with that? I mean,
like I said, he's got to be a good guy. He had to have been a great guy that just wanted to find love, right? And it's
that
probably
was the thing.
It was probably
exactly.
Tough to be able to find someone that's your same religion and background. And if this person obviously was good at baiting him into it and getting into that, but how mentally could you play in I can't even.
It's take a sinister person to do something like that.
Yeah, I have a hard time even lying to my wife, more or less trying to play another person, to be able to do that, right? And to have that whole different personality. Holy jeez.
And your window of opportunity as an athlete is so small. So I have no doubts that he would still be in the league if all this stuff didn't happen. I feel like it's really affected him, and I haven't got to that part. But you just look at his numbers and what he did at Notre Dame. He's one of the best linebackers that came out of college football, and there's no reason he shouldn't have stayed around in the NFL. But when you got a lot weighing on you like that, and no one to really turn to, that's tough.
Are you a big NFL guy or no?
No, I'm not really. I watched this Red Zone. Just a little bit, but it's only if I have a fantasy team or not. Some years I play, some years I don't. But I'm more invested if I have a fantasy team, but that's about it.
Chuck, do you play fantasy?
I'm deep into fantasy.
Oh, that's right. You got two
I'm getting my prep. I'm prepping my rankings right now for my players who I'm going to draft. I'm ready.
Smart man, you got to.
Did you see what happened in the MLB with Tommy Pham and Jock Peterson and all these guys there?
No.
When they got accused of Tommy Pham got accused of hiding or stashing away players on the injured list. Tommy Pham accused Jock Peterson of this, and I don't know fantasy football too much, but you can put guys away on your own injured list so
Yeah.
that other people don't pick them up.
Yeah.
And so he got accused of it, and then it got into a physical altercation at the Major League Baseball game this year, where Tommy Pham walked out to Jock Peterson in the outfield, slapped him.
All over fantasy football. I saw Mike Trout said something because Mike Trout was like the commissioner.
Yeah.
So I'm an Angels fan. So I'm like reading this article about how Mike Trout's like, I am not going to be the commissioner again for this fantasy football team. And I'm like, why is this big news? But apparently it's huge news.
Yeah,
so
Guys don't play around, man. You got to think they probably got money invested into those fantasy
that's what I'm
games.
thinking. A lot of money.
That's
a
what
lot of money.
That's what Tommy Pham said. Is that he goes. He was taking it serious because there's a lot of money riding on the line. So I was like, man, I don't play fantasy football.
Yeah, he just found a loophole where you could just pick up random players, like pick up players that are probably injured or going to start for the next week and just put them on the bench. Pick them up, put them on the bench. So nobody else can pick them up if they need somebody to pick up for the week. Then he's hoarding players.
So who's
Yeah, everyone gets the same amount of people on their bench, though, right? So, like, that's just good GM work by him.
It is definitely good GM work. Yeah,
you think so? So I want to ask, who's the most competitive guy on your guys' team? Is there anybody out there?
I'm pretty up there.
Are you?
I'm pretty up there. Yeah, like we just got a ping pong table in the locker room, and that's gonna be interesting over the next couple of weeks. We had a cornhole tournament last year.
Nice.
I got extremely competitive. But
who won that?
Every athlete. Isaac Harker and myself were in the finals against two of our personnel staff. It was all players, and our personnel had just one team in it, and they won it, and they took all of our money, and everybody was upset.
I had the D line over, right? Charleston invited some of the D line over to my place to have a meal, and they started playing cornhole, but they started playing for money. But what's his name? Nick can't count apparently, or no?
Yeah,
Marino.
no, it was Nick Daly and Marino arguing over the rules.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what are the rules of cornhole?
See, I know my spot. When I see D lineman, hey, you can have that one. You're too big to be arguing about cornhole.
I was surprised how big cornhole is in the States. He was all on ESPN the other day too, and I was like, geez, they have like a pro league.
Yeah.
To into that, man.
I didn't even know they were doing like national flag football leagues now.
Yeah, I heard that's going to be in the Olympics now. Flag football.
No.
It's going to be in the Olympics.
Really?
Yeah, it was a U.S. team
Yeah.
and a Mexico women's team that won.
Viva Mexico.
Yeah.
My family's from Mexico, so I got to say that.
Oh, nice.
Freaking flag football. And I was like, flag football is an Olympic sport now? It's nationally played?
Yeah.
Man. Next thing you know,
All that stuff on ESPN, the Ocho.
Yeah, I love the Ocho. I love that. Well, dodgeball's big here in Canada too. They have like national dodgeball championships and doing that.
They're just making stuff up now. They running out of sports. Yeah.
Okay, well, give me this. What sport would you rather play if you weren't playing football?
I played baseball. Baseball was one thing that I liked, and I thought I was pretty decent at it. And I don't know if I would have a chance to play in the majors, but probably some college program somewhere. And
What
yeah,
position?
if it wasn't for football, center field. I liked playing the outfield. Yeah. Growing up, I was infield, shortstop, second base. But when I got to high school, I played center field, and I just liked it because I can run and catch fly balls and throw balls all the way to home plate, and it was a lot of fun. But some days you go out there and you don't get a ball hit to you for a couple innings, and it can be pretty boring. So I chose football because I get the football every single snap. I get to have the football in my hand. So a little selfish there.
Chuck, what sport would you rather play if you could?
If I was to change sports, you know what? I'd probably go. I don't know, man. I love track and field. Mm-hmm. I love wrestling. I'd probably go to wrestling. I'd probably just choke people out for a living.
What about UFC?
I do UFC. The minute I retire from the CFL, I fight one UFC fight against whoever.
Would you fight another CFL guy? Who would you fight from the CFL? What would be a good
question.
main event card? A good main event card for Chuck.
Good main event card. Charleston Hughes versus
Nick
I'm going to
Lewis.
pick one of the two guys. Either Sean Lemon
Or Derek Dennis.
Nope. Or Simone Lawrence.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I'm paying to see both those fights, man. Put me on the pay-per-view wait list.
okay. We'll see. Cody, who would you fight if you had the UFC?
Oh, man. I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. You know that.
If your life depended on it.
Okay, we'll do this. You got a chance for Cornhole on ESPN Ocho. Who are you lining up against?
Cornhole. We've always talked quarterbacks wise, going against other QBs. And so like playing 3-on-3 basketball against other quarterbacks, how would we fare? So something like that would be kind of cool, is just going against another quarterback group from another team, whether it's, basketball, dodgeball, cornhole, just to kind of see where you're at. It'd be kind of fun.
You guys are way too young for this. I know, well, maybe Charleston's not too young for this, but back in the day.
Damn.
I'm old. Back in the day, the TSN used to have a CFL All-Stars, and they would do different competitive sports. They'd play one-on-one, like Dan Farthing would go against Adrian Smith of the Argos, and then they'd do track and field, or they do kind of like used to be on ABC, where they do all kinds of different events. But the CFL did that, and Dan Farthing from the Riders won it 2 years in a row, the best athlete. And
well, we tried to spearhead that in the offseason. Well, I tried to, and I know Vernon Adams was a guy who tried to. And even if we got, at the Grey Cup, you did something where it was like a quarterback challenge. You remember how they used to do it in the Hawaii for the Pro Bowl, where they throw at the targets? I think that would be an easy thing to do for the CFL, and you'd be able to get – everybody's there for their own team anyways. They're there for the Grey Cup, but if you have your quarterback competing in something, it's just a friendly thing. I think it would be a lot of fun. And the hard part is going somewhere because it's going to be cold, but you can do a lot of things indoors. Yeah. I think that would – or even having guys, in, like I said, like a dodgeball or a kickball or something like that, and it's like West versus East. And I think that – I mean, those are just ideas that I've had. I don't know why people haven't really thought of it, but to have the quarterbacks come out and just do some sort of competition, an accuracy competition, a long ball competition, I think that would be pretty big in the CFL.
Yeah, I remember watching that. Did you watch that?
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, just stand all the quarterbacks up, and who can take the hardest hit from Charleston Hughes?
yeah.
Tackling dummies.
Who gets up from a blindside hit?
You go figure you'd like that.
It'd be a lot of fun for you.
Blindside hit contest.
Well, we'll see if we can line that up here this year for the Grey Cup and do that. Hopefully you guys are playing that.
Rosie, if you're listening to this, set it up.
I want to ask you, Cody, about Sprinkle of Jesus. How are you doing with everything, being as an athlete, being also outspoken as how involved you are with your religion? I'm Roman Catholic. I've always been one where I cross myself after a meal, and Chuck's seen this, or I go by people that have died and do that. Do you ever face criticism for that, or do you ever feel? I know you're very outspoken. You have a strong belief in that.
Yeah.
But do you ever? How do you go about doing that as an athlete?
Absolutely. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my faith and for Jesus. And I go to Christ the King every Sunday at 9 a.m. so that I can. So if you're in Christ the King, most people see me there, and it's funny, people respect me when I'm in Mass. Like, people don't really sit behind me, and then when Mass ends, everyone kind of says hello and good job and stuff like that. So, but yeah, faith's been a big – I went to a all-guys Catholic high school growing up, and I was – first time I really got to see, the Catholicism and the discipline of it, and just learning about Jesus for the first time. And it shaped me for a lot of negative times in my life, like parents getting a divorce, going off to college by myself, and just a lot of scary times, just having my faith there for me. And even when we lose football games, it's like there's things a lot bigger than just football. Like that helps me get through a lot mentally. And, Sprinkle of Jesus was one of those things that, Travis Lulay was one of the first that I heard it from. And we used to talk about it when you throw a ball and it should have been picked, and the DB drops it, and we would just be like, that's a sprinkle of Jesus. And, it kind of took on this crazy persona in 2019 when I brought it up about, some of my injuries I've had. And there's a lot of injuries that I've been dealing with that I should have been out for multiple weeks. And found a way to play and play through it. And I do credit that to just having my faith and my faith in God and that he's going to push me through it. So it took on this whole persona. And, it's funny that I do Cameo, and I get a lot of people on the Cameo who ask, hey, can you send, my mom's dealing with some stuff, and can you send her some sprinkles of Jesus? And so it's taken on a life of its own, and it's kind of cool to have that connection with the fans. We sold some T-shirts that with Pipple's podcast, that ended up, I was like $6,000 that we donated to the Regina Hospital Foundation, and so pretty pleased about that. And
awesome.
Just finding a way just to talk about Jesus. I think we don't talk about him enough, and you guys know me as a strong believer. I think the more we talk about him, the better people become. So that's why I'm an advocate, and I'll continue to talk. And you see me before every game. I run out to the 17-yard line and pray in front of the whole stadium, and that's something I've been doing ever since I stepped foot in college. It just means a lot to me and where I'm at as a person here today.
That's awesome. I respect that, obviously, for many reasons, but it's cool to be able to see that at athletes. And Christ the King, that's where my son went. My youngest boy went to elementary at St. Pius.
Oh, nice.
So we lived fairly close to there, and then we moved, and now we go to St. Anne's. But that's awesome. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Sprinkle Jesus. I was always wondering where that came from, but that's a good story, man. I like that. And I didn't know you go to the 17-yard line to pray every single day. I think I'm in the center field when you're doing that. Like when we always go out for pregame, and right when everybody runs off for pregame and goes back into the locker room, you'll see one person still in the middle of the field right now. And usually that's me, and that's usually me giving thanks to and I've been doing that since I've been in the CFL, just giving thanks to the opportunity that I've been blessed with for me playing all these years, not knowing what the future holds. I used to do it even when I was back in 2008. Like, man, I'm sitting there playing professional football in front of all these people in this stadium that's coming to watch me play, and I'm thankful for that. And the thing is I didn't even know I was going to be in a situation like this, coming out of high school, and you just giving thanks for just being in the moment, really. And usually I'm out there every single game, right there in the middle of the field while everybody else is running in, and I'm just looking around, just, I guess, basking in the ambiance and giving my thanks to the game and, to the one above.
And that's so true. I mean, and I think a lot of young players can learn from that, because you've played a lot of football games and a lot of professional football games, and the fact that you're still going out there and soaking it all in. I think so many times athletes are afraid to soak it in and take the ambiance, and they think that it looks like they don't belong if they go out and they're kind of wide-eyed and like, wow, this is pretty cool. But if you never appreciate it and never have the gratitude for it, when you look back on it, you're going to be like, what the heck? Why didn't I I took it for granted. Why did I take it for granted so many years? And so it's cool for me to hear that from you personally, just knowing, that you've played a lot of football games and you're still out there doing the same thing. And we got our own everyone's got their own little pregame traditions, and it's cool to talk and learn more about what guys do before a game, because it's a roller coaster of emotions. You got everything going on, from nervousness to excited to scared to happy, and until that first whistle, I think that's when I'm the most nervous, during the national anthem, during all that, the warming up right before the game. Once you get out there, football is normal, but all the pregame antics, that's when I'm most nervous.
Heck yeah, that's one of those little pregame rituals that I ain't never even told anybody. So this is the first time I've ever even said that. So
that's cool.
We're gonna be both looking for both you guys doing that. Do you guys ever still
things.
Do you get nervous? Chuck, before you step on the field, do you get the nerves anymore? Or now that you're kind of a senior player and not knowing what's happening, do you get that? Or Cody, do you get nervous before games? Like obviously you said you get the jitters, but what do you?
I get nervous every game.
Oh yeah,
every game.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I get nervous, but I do think I get to overthinking. And then when I start overthinking, I just snap out of it and go like, man, it's just do what I do. Then just do what I do, and just show up. And that's all you got to do. And at worst, just run hard, and then you'll figure it out. You'll snap into a zone in this football.
It's funny when you're guys go ahead, Cody.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, I think the uncertainty of football is what creates nervousness for me. you don't know, you got so much hope and optimism, but you have no idea how the game's going to go. You don't know if you're going to make it out healthy, first and foremost. You don't know if you're going to play a great game, play a bad game. So, like, there's a lot of things where people say control what you can control, but in a team sport, there's only so much you personally can control, especially at the quarterback position. So going out there, the uncertainty of you don't know what kind of game it's going to be is usually what makes it pretty nerve-wracking for me. And then everybody cares. Everybody wants to win, and I think that's the root of guys getting nervous as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that. But you're the quarterback, man. So when you're the one who touched the ball every single play, you gotta
Pressure's on.
yeah, you got a little bit more pressure than I do. Not even pressure. You're just carrying a little bit more weight than me. Where I'm on defense and I'm just like, my pressure comes from, I'm 38 years old and I'm still on the football field with a bunch of kids that some of them I'm old enough to be their dad. And it's like I gotta come out and defy gravity and perform and prove every single game, every single play that, man, I'm not washed up, man, I'm not old, man, I'm still got it, man, I still can do this for as long as I want. So my pressure comes from just thinking that way, and I don't know. Like I said, I just kind of snap out of it and just go like, man, just run.
Just do your best. Just go and get them.
Yeah, I made it this far doing that, right?
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Cody, thanks. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time to be able to do that. I know Chuck's been bugging you for a while and doing that.
Please, Cody. I was in the locker room. Oh, come on, I'll clean your shoes. I'll massage your throwing arm.
We now own some corn dogs. I don't know if I want to be in any competitive sports against Cody because it sounds like he's pretty competitive in terms of something.
I get in trouble with my wife a lot with that.
Yeah.
But to tell you the truth, like, we go mini golf or we go bowling. Like, if she beats me, then she deserves to win. I'm not going to just let you win. And she learned that early on when we were first talking and dating. I'm not going to just let you win just because, I feel like sometimes I'm a nice guy. But if you beat me, and she's beat me bowling, she's beat me mini golfing, and it means something to her. And I'm going to be the same way with my son. I'm going to be the same exact way.
I was just going to ask that. I call BS on that one because when you see your son and you see him and his eyes and he's just sitting there and he wants to hit the ball for the first time, you're not going to strike him out, are you? You're not going to be throwing heat to be able to do that.
You're going to throw some semi-heat. I ain't going to throw no heat, but I'm going to throw some semi-heat.
Yeah, we'll see.
I meant when he's a little bit older and, he's playing basketball for the first time or, bowling like I talked about, like those one-on-one sports. But, like, coaching him, I won't be that hard on him. My dad was pretty positive when coaching me and through all of my sports, and I'm a big positive reinforcement guy. And I tell our offensive guys this all the time. Like, I feed off their energy, and if people are hanging their heads and negative, it wears on me. But when guys are dancing, excited, or happy, that I'm like one of those energy mirrors where whatever you're giving me, I'm going to give you right back. But so I put it on those guys' shoulders. When they're talking crap to the defense, man, that fires me up. I won't be talking crap, but I like to laugh at some of the stuff they talk about, and it gets me fired up. So, that's just who I am, and I'll be a positive reinforcement to my son. But when the day he thinks he can beat me up, I think that's when we might have a problem.
Well, I know I was playing one-on-one with my kid a few years ago, one-on-one in basketball. I'm not a basketball player. I'm short and fat. I can't jump. But I wanted to beat him. And he was 14 at the time, man. It was competitive. I was sweating after. I was down, getting in position. And he kicked my butt. But I was trying, man. I was trying.
Wow, that's freaking hilarious.
Thanks, Cody. Thanks for coming on. Chuck, do you want to say anything else?
No, man. Just thanks for coming on, man. You're awesome. I think this was a great show, great talk. I think the viewers are going to love you. The viewers are going to hate Johan's shirt.
Go Yankees. Yeah. There you go. We always our show's called Better with Age webcast, and one of the things we always close off, it kind of ties into our conversation, Cody, is that better with age. But I'll let Chuck kind of close it off in his words. Words of Wisdom by Chuck.
Words of Wisdom by Chuck. Then you see how the voice changed out, right?
Yeah. It's like the late hour. Dang. Sunday night slow jam.
It's a different show.
This is the wrap-up hour.
Yeah.
Well, this is the Better with Age podcast. And the reason why it's called the Better with Age podcast, because there's many things that get better with age. There's wine, there's whiskey, there's leather, there's cheese. Got all these different things that get better with age. But the most important thing that gets better with age is friendships. Since we've been teammates, Cody, you've been awesome. You've been a great friend. You've given great advice. You've showed up anytime I've needed you to. So I'm awesome, and I'm happy to be your friend. And now you're a friend of Johan's, and now you're a friend of the Better with Age crew. And thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, I like that. Got me blushing a little bit there, Chuck. I like it. Thanks. I appreciate you guys having me on and talking some ball and everything else in between. So have a good night. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Cody. All the best. Good luck on Friday.
Sprinkle Jesus.
Yep. Yes, sir. See you tomorrow.